Good afternoon, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about production of human insulin by recombinant DNA technology. Okay. What is insulin? Insulin is a hormone that is secreted by beta cells of islets of Langerhans in the pancreas. And what is the role of insulin? It controls the level of glucose in blood by catabolizing glucose. Insulin is a boon to diabetic patients whose normal function for sugar metabolism generally fails. As far as the anti-diabetic role of insulin is concerned, it was discovered. The anti-diabetic role of insulin was first discovered by Sir F.C. Banting in the year 1922. And human insulin is the first therapeutic product that was produced using genetically engineered bacteria, using recombinant DNA technology experiment by Eli Lilly and company from USA. Now, insulin is available in the name of Humulin, and it has been approved for therapeutic use by FDA, Food and Drug Administration Department of USA. What is the structure of insulin? If you look at the structure of insulin, it consists of two chains, alpha chain and beta chain, or rather we can say A chain and B chain. The alpha chain is made up of 21 amino acids and the beta chain is made up of 30 amino acids. Initially, inside the body, inside the organ pancreas, beta cells synthesize pre-proinsulin molecule. Okay, direct insulin is not produced. In beta cells of islets of Langerhans first synthesize pre-proinsulin molecule, which is made up of 109 amino acids. Out of the 109, the first 23 amino acids serve as signal amino acids. Okay, so first 23 amino acids of pre-proinsulin serve as signal for the passage of molecule through the cell membrane. Once the molecule passes through the cell membrane, the first 23 amino acids are cleaved out to produce proinsulin, which consists of 86 amino acids. Now, from the proinsulin, the central part of proinsulin, which we call a C chain, is cleaved out, cut out by the enzyme, leaving behind two chains which comprise insulin. Okay, so first pre-proinsulin is synthesized, which is made up of 109 amino acids. The first 23 amino acids are cleaved out because they serve as signal for the passage of molecule through the cell membrane. The resultant is the proinsulin made up of 86 amino acids. The central part of the proinsulin is not important, so it is cleaved out by enzymatic action, leaving behind two chains, alpha chain and beta chain. The two chains together make up insulin. One of the chain, that is alpha chain, is 21 amino acid long and beta chain is 30 amino acid long. The two chains, alpha and beta, are held together by disulfide bridges, as you can see in this diagram. A chain, B chain. And the first 23 amino acids are signal peptide. They are cleaved out. Okay, leaving behind a proinsulin molecule. Of the proinsulin, the C chain shown in red color is unimportant. It is cleaved out to give you A chain, B chain, which are linked by disulfide bridges, which is actually the insulin molecule. Okay, now how to produce human insulin by recombinant DNA technology? Insulin is a hormone required by mammals, like say for example, we are considering humans, then it is required by human beings for metabolism of glucose in the blood. The how to produce now by this protein or this hormone by recombinant DNA technology? The human insulin gene cannot be directly used to produce active insulin in E. coli. Why? Because of the following reasons. The bacteria lack the enzyme system to process the pre-mRNA or to carry out post-transcriptional modification that are required, because actually eukaryotic gene contain introns and exons, and hence they need post-translational modification, okay, to process the mRNA. Such enzymes bacteria do not contain. That means E. coli do not contain. Okay, so proteolytic processing required to produce insulin from proinsulin is not generally carried out in E. coli. As I said, it cannot splice out introns, remove the signal sequence from the pre-proinsulin, or remove the central C chain from proinsulin. Therefore, this step was bypassed. Okay, synthesizing pre-proinsulin was bypassed, and hence the coding sequence for A chain and B chain were chemically synthesized by using gene machine and cloned into separate expression vectors. That means the A chain producing gene was chemically synthesized in gene machine. The beta chain producing gene was chemically synthesized, and the alpha chain producing gene was introduced into one vector. The B chain gene was introduced into another expression vector. The A chain or alpha chain and B chain or beta chain genes were artificially synthesized by designing the DNA sequence from the known amino acid sequence of insulin. Okay, each gene contained methionine initiation codon at its 5' end. That means A chain gene had at the 5' end the methionine initiation codon and a stop signal at the 3' end. Each gene A and B, alpha and beta, was separately inserted into PBR322 plasmid, where at what point? At the tail end of the beta galactosidase gene, that means at the tail end of LAGZ gene. The recombinant plasmids were then inserted into E. coli cells, where the insulin genes were under the control of the strong LAGZ promoter. Okay. Right. So here we use an expression vector PBR322 having LAGZ promoter, right? Besides, or at the tail end of the LAGZ promoter, we introduce the foreign gene, that means A chain gene or B chain gene separately. At the 5' end of the A chain gene, we have initiation codon. At the 3' end, we have stop signal. Okay. The bacteria are grown in a medium containing galactose but not glucose. This results in the induction of the enzyme beta galactosidase, to which the A chain and B chain are attached by methionine residues. Right. So with the induction by growing the cells in presence of galactose and not glucose, we get the product protein. What is the product protein? The product protein is a fusion protein. It consists of few amino acids of beta galactosidase plus A chain protein and B chain protein. Okay. The bacteria were lysed. The bacteria undergo lysis, and what we get is a fusion protein. That means the fusion protein contains a part of beta galactosidase enzyme and rest A chain protein or beta galactosidase plus B chain protein. This fusion protein is treated with cyanogen bromide, CNBR. It will cleave the protein at methionine. Now, methionine is not a part of insulin, so no problem. The initiation codon codes for methionine. So the first amino acid in the A chain gene is the A chain protein is the methionine. So CNBR treatment removes methionine and beta galactosidase enzyme part. Okay, and what is left behind is A chain protein and B chain protein. Okay, methionine cleavage results in the separation of A and B chain from beta galactosidase respectively. What we have is purified A chain and purified B chain. They are mixed in equal quantity with cysteine amino acid for the formation of disulfide bridges between the A and the B chain, so that active insulin is produced by recombinant DNA technology. Here you can see A chain gene, then here you can see B chain gene. The A chain gene is inserted into the plasmid. Besides, at the tail end of the beta galactosidase gene, that is LAGZ gene. We have a LAG promoter here. Similarly, B chain gene is synthesized at the inserted at the tail end of the beta galactosidase gene in the separate vector. Then we allow these recombinant vectors to transform E. coli cells. The E. coli cells, inside the E. coli cells, the proteins are produced. We culture the E. coli cell, lyse the E. coli cell, and purify the beta galactosidase protein. The beta galactosidase protein, as you can see here, is attached with A chain protein, here A chain polypeptide, and on the other side, from the other vector, you get beta galactosidase along with B chain of insulin. Both the A chain and B chain are in the form of fusion protein having beta galactosidase enzyme partly. They are treated with cyanogen bromide, which cleaves from methionine, and what you get is A chain polypeptide and B chain polypeptide separately. Because we want insulin, the A chain and B chain has to be linked with disulfide bridges. So they are treated with cysteine, so that we get active insulin having A chain, B chain, which are linked to each other by disulfide bridges. But in the above method, the disulfide bond formation process is not efficient, is not so efficient. So what the scientists wanted, they wanted to eliminate the disulfide bond formation process. And for that purpose, an improved method was devised. They just wanted to bypass this step of adding cysteine to form disulfide bridges. So what they did, instead of synthesizing A chain gene and B chain gene separately, the entire pro-insulin molecule synthesizing gene was constructed. Okay, so the entire pro-insulin protein producing gene, that means pro-insulin gene, was constructed artificially in the gene machine, and it was inserted into vector and then into the cloning organism E. coli. The pro-insulin which was formed by such transformed E. coli, it simultaneously during its production folded into the correct disulfide bond structure. This purified pro-insulin was converted into active insulin by treating with proteolytic enzymes so that the middle non-essential C chain is cleaved out, which is a relatively easy step. The enzyme like trypsin or carboxypeptidases can be used to treat pro-insulin so that the central C chain is removed, and what we get is mature insulin. Okay, so if you look at the flow chart, human pro-insulin gene was chemically synthesized using gene machine and it was cloned into E. coli. That means it is first inserted into a vector like expression vector like PBR322 besides the strong promoter of beta galactosidase gene. Now, inside the E. coli cells, pro-insulin is formed. Pro-insulin is joined again to the beta galactosidase. So a hybrid protein is synthesized. The hybrid protein is treated with CNBR so that the beta galactosidase enzyme part is removed, and what we get is pro-insulin. The pro-insulin already has A chain, B chain, C chain, all folded in proper conformation with disulfide bridges. Okay, it is already stabilized by disulfide bond formation. So what we have to do is treat it with proteolytic enzymes like carboxypeptidase or trypsin so that central C chain is removed, and what we get is human insulin. So this is an alternate method and a better method for insulin production by recombinant DNA technology. Now, let us study one more method, that is genetic engineering technique for production of rat insulin. Gilbert and Villakumera in the year 1980 isolated mRNA from the beta cells of rat pancreas and synthesized duplex complementary DNA from it. Okay, what they thought, okay, let us use the mRNA for the synthesis of rat insulin. So they isolated mRNA from the beta cells because it is very specific for the protein, and this mRNA, by the action of enzyme polymerase, reverse transcriptase rather, the DNA is synthesized on mRNA by the action of enzyme reverse transcriptase. Now, what you get is a DNA mRNA hybrid. It is treated with enzyme or alkali treatment is given so that the mRNA is removed, and what we have is a complementary DNA. This complementary DNA is then converted into a double-stranded complementary DNA. The pro-insulin gene was inserted into PST1 site of PBR322 plasmid. Okay, so what they did, the pro-insulin gene was inserted into PST1. This complementary was inserted into PST1 site of PBR322. As a result, recombinant DNA was formed. This recombinant DNA, that is the plasmid, was inserted into E. coli culture, which were already given calcium chloride treatment so that it easily takes up the recombinant DNA. The genetically manipulated E. coli cells produced pro-insulin together with penicillinase because this gene, pro-insulin gene, was inserted besides penicillinase gene. So along with penicillinase protein, we had a fusion protein was produced having pro-insulin together with penicillinase. The penicillinase protein and the middle part of the pro-insulin, that is the C chain, was digested or removed by the action of enzyme trypsin. As a result, biologically active rat insulin was produced. This also was used to treat diabetes. Okay, so you can see here in this diagram, PBR322 plasmid having penicillinase gene. There is PST1 site, and in that the PBR322 is cut open, and between the PST1 sites, the pro-insulin gene is inserted. Okay, after transformation and cloning in E. coli cells, Clones produce a hybrid protein having penicillinase and the proinsulin. So the penicillinase part and the central non-essential C chain of proinsulin is cleaved out with trypsin to get active rat insulin. Okay, so this is how recombinant DNA technology is used to produce human insulin or rat insulin. What are the applications of this? Insulin is a boon to diabetic patients whose normal function for sugar metabolism is generally fails. So insulin can be injected into their body. Insulin reduces blood sugar level and promotes glycogen metabolism in liver and muscles. It reduces the breakdown of cellular proteins. It increases resistance of a person towards infectious diseases. The treatment of diabetes by injecting insulin is called insulinotherapy, and for that we need insulin. Human protein is not modified after translation by addition of sugar molecule. Okay, so this is how genetic engineering technique or recombinant DNA technology can be used for production of human insulin. Okay, so that is all about insulin production.